Okay, so we're back. We're going to do the white connector. This time I'm going to have it so that you guys can see the full of how to disconnect and put these pins in. So this will probably be a little bit of a video, but you know, this is the way I found out that this works better, because they want you to use 2 drill bits, which is like iffy, because they want you to drill between these little slots where the pins go, and that is kind of sketchy, because if you're not straight on, if you know, don't do it just right, you're gonna mess it up. So first step, we're gonna do the white connector, and the white connector, as you saw with my little diagram, we are going to be doing the yellow, red, and the white. So as soon as we do that, we'll be all set. So if you look, here's a yellow, red, and here's a white. Not 100% sure why there's a purple wire. I'll have to look in the reading again, see why. But so these 2 wires are going to go into here. So the best way I found out, put those aside so we know where they are. As you can see, I've already got this one all wired up, put back together. I'm going to obviously clean up all this wire so it's not looking like junk right there, because I am pretty picky about the way things are. And I want it to look clean, and I want people to be like, oh, that looks nice job. So first off, in order to get to the connector, you gotta cut this electrical tape off that's right here. So we'll go ahead and do that. So just take a razor blade, just slice right down. And you don't have a sharp one, but also be careful that you don't cut yourself, because it will hurt. And then you just pry it off slowly. It will come. Don't get frustrated. So I don't know how many people have actually done the upgrade for the SRT-4 turbo toys. As far as I know, I don't think it came with a lot of the SRT-4s, or it didn't come with them as, you know, an install option from the factory. I think it was something you had to buy, that Mopar now discontinued and is no longer available, which kind of sucks for the SRT-4 community. But I'm a Neon fan. I've owned my first Neon since '99. I got a Gen 1 dual head cam that I've fully built inside and out, full suspension, and all the toys that I can possibly think about putting into it. And then a couple of years ago, I wanted to put a bigger motor in it. I was going to do the SRT engine, and decided to, instead of tearing this car apart, that I'd keep it. So now the wire loom is all off, and now you can see the wires in there. So if you peel this piece right here of loom back, there, we're gonna take this cover right here off. So to do that, you have to be very careful, because this, I mean, it does break, but if it breaks, it's no big deal. It's not the end of the world. But there are 4 tabs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way to get this off is you should pry up on these little tabs. They're probably going to snap. This car being a 2004, and it's now 2014, it's 10 years old. So if I can pry these up, and at the same time I want to try to push out. You also kind of need 2 people to do this, because it'd be safer. Let me try a small pick. See if that. Yeah, the first one I did, I kind of broke 3 of them off, not meaning to. I'm gonna try to keep this one intact if I can. get a small screwdriver. Alright, we're going to try this. We're going to try to put this in here. Because once you get it up high enough, there. Now all I did was hold that up. So now if you come to the back side, there, see how it came apart? The only problem is that's going to slip back down if you're not careful. So you can hold the pick in there to get the other side. Nope, that's what I'm afraid of. So, get that one. There's that one. Okay. So try this. Lift this up. Hold it right in the center. And when you lift up, push. Lift up and push. There. And I got that one and saved 3 of them that time. So, just lift up slowly and pull a little force and pull forward. And it should push it out. Okay, so this is the part where I found out easiest for me. I think it's the better way to go. So again, we need to find the number. This is the white connector. So you find the number 2 and then number 14. And what they wanted you to do was drill I think it said 1/16. I think that's the way. I think it was a 1/16. I think 1/16 is bigger than. Anyway, here's my 2 drill bits. You see how one's really small and the other one's big? The small one is to break the tab, and the big one is to push it through. Bad idea. You don't want to drill into this thing because you don't want to freaking ruin it. So this back cover here comes off. It's got 2 tabs, one there and one there. You just push underneath without stabbing yourself. You just get underneath of it and put it a little up. There's one snap. Takes a little bit of, everything's dry. Never been apart since it put together, and there's the other one. As long as you didn't get the other side snap, there we go. Alright, so you see how it's coming apart. Comes apart a little stiff. Yeah, as you can see, comes apart. It's a little dry because all the wires are twisted. There. That gives you a better view of it. So, that wire is kind of pinched. Okay. I'm not sure why they have green tabs in there. Huh. Okay, so now you gotta find which one, these are not labeled. Get my straight pick. I want you to do number 2. So here's number 1, and there's number 2. So again, that little black tab right there, you just pretty much break it off. Use a pick or a small screwdriver, but just take it and push it. See how it moved? Push it up and down, and it will come out. And it's almost out. There it is. So that little tab right there, they wanted you to drill that. My way is so much easier and so much quicker. Okay, so now you gotta find the number 14 slot. So you look, 11's over here. You got 11, 12, 13, 14. 14's right there. So you might be able to just push it through and break it if you're lucky, which I think I did. You didn't have to really pry that one. I mean, there's a lot of wires in there, but you want to make sure you get it out of there because that could obstruct. There it is. Get it out. Okay, so now you just take these two wires. You got a white wire which goes in 14, so you find the 14 hole. It's kind of hard because everything's right there. It's always good just to make sure you have the right hole, because you don't want to, I don't know what would happen if you plug this thing into the wrong section. So there's 11, 12, 13, 14, and the slot is missing, which is good. So take the white wire. Remember, you can only slide it in one way. Now this is going to be the tricky part, because you got to make sure you get it in the. This is probably why they wanted you to drill it, but we're going to do it this way. So 11, 12, 13. I'm going to try to get this off now. You might have to take a small pair of needle noses and try to push it in. It is a tight spot. I'll use a straighter pick. Okay, so before you can actually physically put it through there, I should have done this first, but there is a red tab right there. Slides back and forth. It only goes one way. You take it and pull. Now all the pins are free floating, so you gotta be very careful that they don't pull them out, because if you pull them out, then you have to get a wiring diagram how to put them back in or where they go. And there. Kind of hard to see it, but it's in the hole. So 11, 12, 13, 14. So just make sure that when you look in there, you're in the 14th, because 11's a far, 12, 13, 14. And then just push it the rest of the way through. So 11 is here. So if we go 11, 12, 13, 14. There's my new pin, sitting right where she's supposed to be. Okay, so now you gotta do the yellow and red. There's my yellow red. And that goes in slot number 2. Which is right there, because number 1 is, that's 1, so 1, 2. So push it through. And then if you see in the back there, there's 2 little holes. It goes in the second hole because we're going to number 2. Yeah, twist it just enough to make it through. And as you can see, it going through the silicone. And just take a pick to get it through the rest of the way. It's not quite there, it's almost. Move a little bit further. Okay, so there's my number 2, and there's my number 14. So now you got the 2 wires in for the white connector. So you just take this red connector, take a screwdriver, flat one, and just push it, and it snapped. And if you're not 100% sure if it snapped, pop it back out. It should make a click. Then I would just double check, make sure you can't pull out the new wires you put in. Then this black connector housing cover that covers the silicone needs to go back on. So you have to get that straight, and that should, once all the wires are straight, it should slide in. When you hear that, it slid right, it popped in. So, but then you got all these green connectors. I imagine you're gonna have to want to push those in. I don't know why those are on there, but. And there's one right there. And there's one on the bottom. Okay. Yeah. So, matter of, I think maybe 10-15 minutes, maybe even less. I didn't really look at the clock, but I mean, it didn't take long. So now you just gotta put everything back together. So I mean, unfortunately I did break one, but I think I'm gonna try a different route on the next one. And I think we'll have it. So it just slides back on the cover and goes into holes, and there we go, just like that. Then you want